Then our family also wanted to have someone ordained. Our father was a very good Buddhist. He also wanted to ordain someone in family. So in age 11, my age 11, our father bring me to the teacher and offer me to the sasana. I was 11 years. That time teacher says, okay, I will accept, but in future you give some studies. If the son like ordain, he will do it. So then this way that had been growing up. So at 18, I feel of ordaining. At that time, decision not so strong. Cannot get a strong decision. So then go to the gradually grow up to the age 28. That time thought, oh, this right time. Had to decide. Definitely had to ordain. So then that time we ordained. Reason is why we ordained. Reason is one thing is our Buddhist background. Another thing is we had been thinking what Buddha is teaching. Why Buddha says to ordain and practice. Why Buddha says. Had been thinking. When we are thinking, understanding, yes, we have to understand this Dhamma, non-self, no person, no being, that this Dhamma we have to understand. That's why Buddha encouraged us. So then at 28 understood, or to understand non-self is necessary to ordain. I am Venerable Hariyananda. So I ordained 1992 as a Samanera, 1993 as the Bhikkhu, means 32 was already completed. So my teacher is our Aryadhamma Mahathero that called, now he already passed away a few years before, Aryadhamma Mahathero. My preceptor is Jinamasa Mahathero, who started this forest tradition. In 1992, he is still alive that time. He passed away year 2003. It is also very good that story. 2 days before his passing away, he told that his students, or that I had been doing sadhana so many things, so that day after tomorrow I will pass away. He declared and passed away day after tomorrow on the 2003 July 11 he declared. July 13, a full moon day, very peacefully passed away. In India, already some percentage, about 5% of the people, they are very good moral and very good their intention for their own development, for the sasana development, about 5%. This 5% if come up, we can help for others. Because good people, the ability one, further have to develop themselves. Then society we can help. Some of the society people, they listen to us. These people we slowly we can convert and we can help. So we think in the positive ways better. That maybe society, some side is going down, that's true, but society is still good level is maintaining. That maintaining part we have to further develop. So example, here we have meditation group. So this meditation group become stronger and stronger, then they can share their experience to the others. Some percentage of the society we can help, but all we not possible. So big percentage we can bring back. So religious support, meditation support is necessary to bring them back to the right track. Buddhism to the India is now this time is necessary time because many of the practitioners, they are practicing in the India. So maybe they are practicing various meditation groups, their meditation, and also studying groups, they are studying. So a lot of Dhamma activities in the India. And another one is various tradition, Dalai Lama tradition also in India, some various traditions also come to the Bodh Gaya and also various monasteries they are building. So that it is very good sign to the India. So we understand many of the Indians, they are in this time they are practicing. It is very suitable period, and actually the Buddhism in earlier, the more stable, more powerful in India during the Buddha time, King Asoka time, and after that many king period had been having very strong Buddhism practice. So that due to some reason it disappeared. Again, that we had to bring back all the Buddhism, all the teaching, good teachings. So that brother Deepak, he's doing very big job in this one. He go to the various places in the world and also find out the suitable traditions and invite those traditions, the power traditions and also Ajanta traditions and Sri Lanka, invite those traditions to come to the India and build up the Buddhism, his aim. So this is a very good sign. So to have the proper Buddhism, to have the stable Buddhism in India, we need proper training. So training part, so that we need local training, we need foreign training in various ways. That devotees have to have some good training, and also ordained one also had to have proper training. If training is good, so again Buddhism become very strong. So all the conditions there in the country. Only thing is we need proper training only. Then Buddhism very fast, very quick can come up. Yes, our monastery, our teacher, our Jinavansa Mahathera is the present founder of this forest tradition. He 74 years before. He was very good monk, very good behavior, moral quality very good. But Venerable think had to start forest system. So the Venerable started forest system. He based on the meditation practice. Venerable thought for the stable forest system we need meditation practice. So Venerable himself he very well studied one, Dhamma studied. So go to the forest and started very simple way. So then finally this forest training become bigger and bigger. Up to today around 300 branches in country. Abroad also few branches we have. So Sangha more than 2000 Sangha in the country had been growing up. So among this our tradition, we have various training. One thing is some centers basically only for meditation. So meditation also we have three meditations. We have power meditation. Some centers they organize power meditation only. Some centers they organize Mahasi meditation only, 1 or 2 centers, not many. A few centers they organize Goenkaji training only. So this is meditation practice. Another side in our organization having Dhamma study. Some of the centers they train Dhamma. They are giving some Dhamma studies, also some Sinhala language and also Pali language, English language. So the Dhamma teaching places we have in our country, few places, different places. So this way that Sasana, they train meditation practice, Dhamma studies and some other activities, but based on basic Sila. So that all the 227 rules Venerable had to follow. Then as the Sangha community, we had been doing this Sasana works. And our annual Upasampada, high ordination program, these things, we do maximum purity. It means like the Lord Buddha's period, pure way the Sangha had been doing. So students, they have more confidence on their moral training. So majority of them, they're more effortful and they maintain their development. It's basic explanation of our system, but Navayana is one part of this system. So that Navayana we have our center, Navayana center around a very big place, about 5,000 acres. So big forest, ancient caves. Today we go to see some caves. Same ancient caves have, ancient pagodas have, ancient king time plantations also available. So this kind of big forest is called Navayana forest. Also we have set up few system, basic training system in the lower mountain and very deep meditation system in the mountain hill top area, more secluded, people not seeing. So Venerable had been meditating in those areas. And another part of our Navayana, we are organizing mixed meditation and Dhamma studies. So that one, some Venerable like little bit study also, then studying also going on, meditation also going on. That female section, another section is away a little bit, our Sangha area, little bit 2 kilometers away, also organize meditation, mainly meditation practice, little bit Dhamma studies. So in this way that little bit complicated system, not easily understand by the words. When you come to the Sri Lanka, you can understand. Applicants, local applicants, they can they can call to Sangha office or our devotee office. They can get the appointment and come to the our Sangha area, and they can discuss. We allow them according to their ability. Foreign applicants, they go to our website. That we have a small website, not big one. They go to the website. They have got inside application. Application two type. Some they can fill up online, but some they not possible. They can print out it, and they can fill up with the handwriting or any of the way. Then scan and email to the Navayana. So then we see this their requirement. Maybe they are asking some questions: how long you are intending, what are the intention, ordination or practice, this kind of thing. According to it, that we see this their answering way, then we say, so, okay, you can come and practice. For short term, very easy. Maybe 1 month up to 3 months, very easy, because visa part very easy for them. Online can apply, can come to country. Temporary ordination also allow. So within this 3 months, they can meditate in Kuti, and also if they like go to the more silent area also they can meditate. It's allowed. If they like basic level, the normal meditation level also they can meditate. For longer meditators, if they want to stay a few years and they want to stay longer time training, also they same way application. So then after application, go to our Sangha. What Sangha do is they send the approval. Together with the approval, we are sending back to them and asking these details, please supply us, because we have to apply the government. So that details means that we need one thing is criminal record. No criminal record means police record. So that one we need. Another one is another application, government application. They have to fill up and sign it. Copy of the passport and their picture. They send us, and also their embassy where they can apply, nearest embassy. Those details they send us. We ask by the email. We have the common email. We are asking these details, please supply. So then they supply these details. Then after that we apply, monastery apply to the government. Government give the approval. After government approval, they can come to Sri Lanka. Then they can have when they enter in country, they get the 30 days visa. So after they enter country, we apply 1 year. So after 1 year, few times we can apply 3 year or 5 year. So they can stay longer and practice. During the period, we allow them to stay in the kuti and also practice. So practicing in a monastery, we have 2 levels. One thing is intensive level, one thing is general level. Every month 10 days or 12 days or 15 days. We have intensive, no talking at all, continuously practicing only. Another 10 days or 15 days, rest of the days, sometimes we are practicing, in the meantime listening some Dhamma and also some of the Dhamma, a little bit Dhamma studying also can, or some reading also can be done. So in this way that various setup. So when you come, you can understand. One is we have one of the eldest teacher. He's 91. He's generally is a preceptor for the old sangha. He that generally preceptor and general vinaya, this thing teaching by this teacher. So other few Dhamma teachers and few meditation teachers, they are inside the monastery. So different levels, we are maybe the nunnery, we are the 2-3 venerables, the meditation teaching, and also 1 or 2 Dhamma also teaching. And Sangha areas also different areas, different teachers. So low area 1 or 2 teachers, mountain area 1 or 2 teachers, like that way. We had been having few meditation teachers to maintain continuous practice background. The teacher had to have the compassion, loving kindness. With the student, definitely when they come from the various background, they are not well behavior one beginning. Can happen it. Teacher understand. So teacher giving some advice, slowly correcting them, and slowly they bring them to the right track. It takes a few years. That's why we need dependence periods. For Sangha, we have 5-year dependent periods. So this dependent period, they had to be under the teacher, so that teachers focus them, their weaknesses, and the advising or Dhamma preaching. Slowly they convert, they come to the right track. Then 5 years dependent period is over. So this connection is necessary. If 5 years they follow teachers guiding, then many of the teachers' quality they can absorb. So this training is very important for the Buddha Sasana. That's why ancient teachers, they encourage for dependence. Yes. Actually, when I ordained, I was 28. So that time I had some basic understanding about the ordination, and also this for training, because we born in Buddhist background. Our village nearby, one Buddhist temple, monastery, also very good venerable. So we grow up under those venerables. So this reason we had been thinking ordination. So then our family also wanted to have someone ordained. Our father was a very good Buddhist. He also wanted to ordain someone in family. So in age 11, my age 11, our father bring me to the teacher and offer me to the sasana. I was 11 years. That time teacher says, okay, I will accept, but in future you give some studies. If the son like ordain, he will do it. So then this way that had been growing up. So age 18, I feel of ordaining at that time, but decision not so strong, cannot get a strong decision. So then gradually grow up to the age 28. That time thought, oh, this right time, had to decide, definitely had to ordain. So then that time we ordained. Reason is, why we ordained, reason is, one thing is our Buddhist background, another thing is we had been thinking what Buddha is teaching, why Buddha says to ordain and practice, why Buddha says, had been thinking. When we are thinking, understanding, yes, we have to understand this Dhamma, non-self, no person, no being, that this Dhamma we have to understand. That's why Buddha encouraged us. So then age 28 understood, or to understand non-self is necessary to ordain. So this is the main aim on that time. But even though had a little bit fear, because Dhamma we know definitely good, ordination also we know definitely good, but if I cannot do, what can do? So mentally got the mind, no, if cannot do, I don't take my leg backward. That even I die, I do it. Like that way, strong determinations. So then our teachers very compassion, cannot imagine our teachers' compassion. So slowly they change our mind. Because our mentally beginning we don't have proper experience, proper training, but teachers always smiling, always loving kindness, always encouraging this way, supporting us few years. So then we got right track. Actually Dhamma is not complicated. Dhamma is very simple, very easy, but our wisdom not mature. That's why we cannot understand. So Dhamma basically very easy to understand, wholesome and unwholesome. Unwholesome always increase your ignorance, greed, hatred, delusion, conceit. Those unwholesome objects increase your ignorance and also increase your darkness. Wholesome mind, so that wholesome increase your wisdom and also increase your brightness. So that as a meditation object or as a chanting or any of the wholesome, so increase, mentally brighter, bodily brighter and also comfortable and tranquilities. So those things, those energies come up with basic Dhamma. So then when the wholesome energies develop, so then we have to, in the wholesome group, we have to further increase mindfulness, concentration and wisdom. These three come up, unwholesome energy go down, unwholesome energy completely disappear, wholesome energy stabilize, is that we call liberation. So Buddha's aim is people bring unwholesome stage to the wholesome level to the deeper level, mindfulness, concentration, wisdom level. This level to the complete purity. So Dhamma is very simple, but our wisdom very weakened. That's why we cannot understand Dhamma. We variously focus this sutta, this thing, variously focus, but actually Dhamma is very simple, wholesome and unwholesome, like our scalar balance. That unwholesome is stronger, wholesome lower, life is ignorant, more suffering. Wholesome is stronger, unwholesome lower, life is more peaceful, relaxed and comfortable. So this one further go up to the complete purity. Yes, in meditation part, if you wanted to have a deeper meditation, laziness we have to break. If morning cannot wake up, daytime also cannot apply meditation, night time also cannot apply meditation, not easy development. So that effortfulness very important. So that morning maybe the devotees, morning they wake up and they little bit meditate and daily activities together little bit apply meditation, and night time also before sleeping little bit apply meditation is very suitable. So ordained one also they have to apply a whole day meditation. Means that morning wake up time little bit apply and daily activities together they have to apply. So then until night time, sleeping time they apply. So that without knowing, meditation energy growing. Maybe this week little bit better, next week more better, next week more better, gradually come up to the stable level. So importance is continuously apply as much as possible. Some of the parties they cannot avoid, but even though they are there in the party, better apply some Dhamma. Maybe they show that they are enjoying the people, but they keep that awareness of it, or that nature of the world. This kind of Dhamma apply is more suitable to take our mind from this unnecessary background, because we are enjoy our heedless and also no mindfulness, then ignorant. So taking alcohol, then doing lot of things. So again come back to Dhamma, not easy. So it is, if possible, alcoholic part, this part completely we try to avoid. Then very quickly we can come back to our track. So this way the daily other activities, together we apply Dhamma is more suitable for developing people. So later they are more stable. So wherever they go, their mentality unshakable. Until this level, we have to protect our mind from this dangerous background. Spiritual teaching is producing good karmic energy for them. So any of the one word or few word or some Dhamma or that meditation or this teaching, as when they are doing sharing, internally our karma base become better, stronger and wider and more powerful. So then this karma base stronger, whatever they do, very easy success. In this life also, future life also, samsara, whatever they do, very easy success. But worldly, some enjoying life, some maybe these things we are encouraging people. So these people, they don't develop correct karma. So they are developing wrong karma. So this karma, sometimes present life also cannot be happy. Future also cannot be happy, sometimes more suffering. So it's better if they are doing at least this kind of encouragement, one part of the life had to be Dhamma part. If not, in future, no safe for them. Yes, I feel that more positive and effortful. Maintain this level. We call Buddha's word, this maintenance we call appamada. Appamada means that we keep positive mind, we keep Dhamma applying mind. This called appamada. So daily, when you are having some free time, or during your work time, also little bit apply. So this is very suitable for you to be happy in future. So Buddha always telling this word, appamadini bhikkhave sampadeta. Our teacher, Haridam Mahathera, more beautiful rhythm there. Maybe our website also should have Haridam Mahathera's chanting, overnight chanting for the Power Shadowji. On that time, Power Shadowji sick in year 2000. Mahathera go there and chanted. Power Shadowji recovered. So this one available. I will give the link to the Brother Deepak, then you can ask from him. So Haridam Mahathera's chanting very nice, very beautiful. You can play, if possible, your house or your room continuously also very suitable. Very small rhythm. You can play it. Yeah, Dhammamangalam group actually one of the biggest group in India. So that our brother Deepak is leading. So he had been visiting important monasteries all over the world and bring this message and encourage people. Because of this, his encouragement, Dhammamangala had been having very good the organizing and ability, and also good people, gathering ability and meditation ability. So we wish all of you to continue Some of us maybe small mentality, not harmony thing can happen, but have to ignore it. Even all the leaders or anyone venerable also can happen some small mistake. So this thing we have to ignore. Good thing, good side, we focus. Oh, this our brother or this sister or he's very good, he's supporting us, but some mistake can happen. So this way we have to ignore the weaknesses, we have to accept the good things, then all harmony together and maintain this practice. So good for the society to be more stronger and stronger. So I wish all of you follow the brother Deepak and also some other leaders. Wish all of you to develop more and more meditation practice, and wish all the Dhammamangalam group to complete meditation development with the concentration, deeper mindfulness and deeper wisdom with vipassana. Wish all of you to attain for the path, fruitions and nibbana. Sukhi hotu, sukhi raho.